America is divided, or rather is a divided country after a closely contested presidential election. The Republican nominee, Trump, has secured his return to the White House after surpassing the required 270 electoral college votes. Democratic candidate Kamala Harris is expected to make a speech today, or rather earlier tomorrow morning. That is South African time. For more, we're joined by news correspondent Nick Harper. He's in Washington, D.C. for us. Nick, good afternoon. Good evening. Let's start with a reaction from residents in Washington on Trump's win. What has been the common sentiment there?
Well, an historic win from Donald Trump. But here in Washington, D.C., though, there's been plenty of glum faces out on the streets this morning. Bear in mind that this is a Democratic stronghold, one that threw its support behind Kamala Harris. And many people, therefore, are digesting the news that they watched unfold last night and perhaps woke up to this morning that Donald Trump will be returning to the White House. Only the second president in US history to do that in non-consecutive terms, having that break of 4 years while Joe Biden has been in the White House. We do know that Kamala Harris is due to address supporters in the coming hours at Howard University, the historically black university here in the heart of Washington, D.C. She was meant to speak to supporters last night, but was a no-show after the results did not go in her favor. We're told that she will likely phone the president-elect, Donald Trump, ahead of her appearance, and it will be a concession speech giving her an opportunity to thank supporters, but also congratulate Donald Trump for that win. It's certainly not what she and her supporters were hoping for during that speech at Howard. They were hoping to go there last night to see history being made, with the first female president being elected and the first female woman president of colour being installed in the White House. Of course, that is not what has happened, and all of them now digesting that news.
And then, Nick, just take us through the electoral process from here on out, because yes, the media has called it, but there's still quite a long process before the January inauguration.
That's right. I mean, not all the votes have been counted yet, but the way that that electoral college works means that we already know Donald Trump has got enough from the states that have been counted to be able to say that he will be the next president. So still voting being done, or rather vote counting being done in some of those states not being called yet in either's favor. But Donald Trump needed to reach 270 electoral college votes. He was able to do that by winning multiple swing states. There were 7 up for grabs. Being able to add all of those together, it gets him over that 270 threshold that he needed. But yes, of course, many days still to come until Inauguration Day on January the 20th, that day when Joe Biden will officially hand over the United States to Donald Trump.
Nick, thank you very much for that reportage. That is SABC News correspondent Nick Harper in Washington, D.C. for us.